Hi everyone, it's Sharon, and I'm back for another episode of Tool Talk. Today I am going to talk to you about two kind of distinct different kinds of wax carving tools. I'm going to talk about the kinds that I started with, and I'm going to talk about the kinds that I upgraded to, which were the fancier ones. And part of the reason I want to talk about this is these are so inexpensive and accessible. But a lot of people, I think, look at them and think that they're a little too dull, not quite right, not quite shaped right. And what I want to show you today are a couple of the ways that you can shape them and make them work for you. Because this whole set that I have, I mean, they're literally like the older, crappier dental tools. I think I spent like $20 on this whole set. I think I'm missing a piece here. And it really wasn't until I was like 5 years into wax carving that I finally upgraded to the Kate Wolf wax tools. And I love these, and I'm so glad that I got these, and I'm so glad that I spent the money on them. They were a Hanukkah present to myself many years ago. But these guys were such workhorses, and I really just love them. And I still actually do use them sometimes, but the key thing is that I had to adapt them to make them a little bit easier to use. So I'm going to flip the camera down, as always, and show you what I did to adapt these tools to make them better to use. Okay, so let's start by talking about one of the big differences between these tools and the Kate Wolf tools. One of the biggest differences is that the Kate Wolf tools, these arrive sharp. I mean, really sharp. Like, you don't want to, as I have done, like accidentally tap your hand on top of these. Like, these guys will stab you. These I had to make a lot sharper. One of the other things about the Kate Wolf tools is that a lot of them come with these kinds of angled tools. Personally and ergonomically, I really like the way that this particular one functions, where it's just really easy to draw with. And because it really has like a pointy sharp side, and it has a cutting side on the inside of the crescent and a cutting side on the outside of the crescent, it's just super versatile. But what I'm going to show you is, if you aren't able to upgrade to the almost $200 set of the Wolf wax tools, there are some other options, and there are ways that you can get these cheaper dental tools to work for you. So one of the first things I'll show you is that you can bend them. Let's see if I can get my parallel jaw pliers. Tool talk on the parallel jaw pliers coming. You can reshape these tools. I just did it. That's it. That's all you have to do. You could even hammer it, though you might wreck your hammer if you do it, unless you use the dead blow mallet. So that's the first thing, is that almost any of these are shapeable. I would say especially like these little guys, the little sharp ones that, you know, the ones that when you go to the dentist, like, you never want this one on your teeth, but I could easily just like bend this into a crescent shape. And now I have something that's a lot closer to that other one, and then this side as well. So that's one possibility. You can just reshape them. The other thing is you can get a sharpening stone. You do find these used a lot for things like sharpening your graver, like these kinds of tools. So a lot of jewelry supply companies will sell them. You can also, though, I believe, find these at a lot of hardware stores. So if you already happen to be at the hardware store, ask them if they have a sharpening stone. In an ideal world, you would use some kind of lubricant on here. I don't have any just set up at the moment, but I'm just going to show you really briefly what you can do with this. So let's grab... I'm going to grab this guy. So this is actually a tool that I use quite often. I like to use this one if I need to twirl in the wax and just make like a small hole. And I don't feel like reaching for my drills. If I don't feel like reaching for my flex shaft, I just like to twirl this in the wax. But the thing is, you really need sharpness on both sides. And the fact that I'm running my finger along this right now means that they're not sharp. But what you can do is come to the sharpening stone. I'm going to hold this at an angle like that. And just run it back and forth. Let's see if I can get a close-up for you. Yeah, do you see? I made a little bevel on the edge there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, so that was this side, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to flip it to the other side and do that as well. The other tool you can use, so I really do like this kind of stone for this kind of work, just because I feel like I've got a more steady, stable, flat angle. You can also get just a regular working file, not, by the way, one of the files that you use on your metalwork, but like just a hardware store file, and kind of get the same thing. But personally, I like the sharpening stone because of its stability, because of its ability to just give me a nice flat angle. I am pressing pretty hard, and I am making sure that this hand here is holding this piece very, very straight. And that matters so that you get a nice flat angle. And now I have a much, much sharper tool. I am going to make sure that the tip gets very sharp because I need it to be very sharp. Flip that over like that. This is kind of like if you've ever used one of those steels for your kitchen knives. If you've ever had to sharpen a kitchen knife, it comes with that like long steel that you like scrape along each side of the knife to true up the sides. It's kind of like that. And now let's see if we can get you nice and close in there. Now, do you see that beveled edge there and that beveled edge there and the beveled edges on the tip? Oh, and oh, look, beveled edge there, beveled edge there. And so now I have a tool that is at least as sharp as any of the tools in here. I will be perfectly honest and tell you that I still 9 times out of 10 reach for the Kate Wolf tools. Once I purchased them for myself, there was really no looking back. But I do still occasionally use these, especially this one with the sharp thin sides. These are shaped just right for me. But my aim today was to show you what you can do with the cheaper tools. If you're not in a position to upgrade to these just yet, these can be made to work just perfectly fine. And you'll notice that that took me no time at all to sharpen up this wax tool. Thanks so much for joining me for Tool Talk, all about my favorite wax carving tools and one way that you can adapt your wax carving tools to work for you. If you like this video, check out my other Tool Talk videos where I discuss other jewelry tools that I really love. If you like this video and are looking for a way to support future videos, my patronage is in the links below. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Tool Talk videos in the future. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you again.